Hari Om. Welcome to today's class. I am Reshma and today we are going to deal with a new chapter in English. Before moving on to our today's class, let's see the quotes of our Swami Chimayananda. Through faith in Him, we reach that faith in us. Here, Swamiji tells that through faith in Him, that means through faith in God. Him means God. Through faith in God, only we can reach faith in us. That means believe in God. Then only you can believe in yourself. Okay. So, moving on to today's class. Welcoming you all for today's English class. Hope you all are fine. In this COVID days, you have to follow all the COVID protocols in order to stay safe. So, stay healthy. Okay, so let's begin our class. And before moving on to today's class, I just want to ask you something about stories. You all like stories, right? Yes, we all like stories. We all like to read stories. We all love to listen to stories, isn't it? Our grandmother used to tell stories to us. Our mother used to tell stories to us, isn't it? Then when you came to school, from your teachers you came to know more stories, isn't it? And how many of you like to write stories? I know many of you have the habit of writing stories. So it is a very good habit. Keep it up. Okay. Read good story books and also write good small short stories also. What type of stories do you like? Some of you like comic stories. Some of you like adventurous stories. Most of the children or most of the people like to read comic stories. Have you seen comic story books? Yes. Our Malayalam story books like Balarama, Balabhumi, all are comic story books. English also, I think Doraemon is there, Akbar Birbal stories. So all these are small comic story books. Can you say what is a comic story? Comic story is very interesting to read. You can see both words and also images in the comic stories. It is a short story with more and more images. If there are many pictures in your storybook, it will be more interesting to read. Isn't it? That type of stories are known as comic stories. And in comic stories, we can see the relationship between words and images. We will get the clear, vivid image of each words or each descriptions in the comic stories. It is a short story that work well visually. Okay, so today we are going to deal with a comic story. So are you ready for that? Yes. The name of our story is Gopal and the Hilsa fish. Yes, Gopal and the Hilsa fish. Have you seen Hilsa fish? Yes, it is very tasty to eat. So here we can see a very good story, a very good interesting comic story based on this Hilsa fish and the character Gopal. Are you ready? Yes, so take your textbook. Gopal and the Hilsa fish. It was the season for Hilsa fish. Fishermen could think of nothing but Hilsa fish. Fishmongers sold nothing but Hilsa fish. Come by, the price of Hilsa is down today. Householders could talk of nothing but Hilsa fish. How much did you pay for that Hilsa? You wouldn't believe it if I told you. So here you can see the images and it will be very interesting for you to listen and to read this comic story. We know that certain fish have certain seasons. So that for crabs they have some season, they have some particular season. Like that for each and every fish they have some particular season. So here also this season is very suitable for Hilsa fish. So here there are many number of Hilsa fish you can see. It was a season for Hilsa fish. So it is a season of Hilsa fish. Fishermen could think of nothing but Hilsa fish. So fishermen, the people who are selling fish, are fishermen. So this fishermen could think of nothing. They don't need any other fish. They only need Hilsa fish. So they are very much thinking of Hilsa fish. They are not thinking about any other fish. Fishermen could think of nothing but Hilsa fish. Fishmongers sold nothing but Hilsa fish. So in the market, the picture is given there, you can see in the market, fishmongers need only Hilsa fish. They don't need any other fish. Isn't it? Come buy, the price of Hilsa is down today, and they are telling, come, buy it here today. The Hilsa fish rate is very low. The price of Hilsa fish is very down. So come fast, come and buy the Hilsa fish. Householders could talk of nothing but Hilsa fish. Everywhere, the householders, the people inside the house, the neighbors are also talking about Hilsa fish. In our neighbors also, your mother and the neighboring auntie will talk. Isn't it? Have you got the fish? Ah yes, I got this fish, I got that fish. Isn't it? So here also in the same way, all the people in that place need Hilsa fish. They are not talking about anything. They only need Hilsa fish. They are talking about Hilsa fish. The fishmongers are selling Hilsa fish. Householders could talk of nothing but Hilsa fish. So the lady is asking to a man, you can see there, how much did you pay for that Hilsa fish? She wanted the price. She wanted to know the price of Hilsa fish. Isn't it? So the man said, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. If I tell you also, you wouldn't believe. Isn't it? So that much money I gave to that fishmonger for buying Hilsa fish. So if I tell also, you wouldn't believe. So I am not telling you the amount of Hilsa fish. And in the palace too, the courtiers could discuss nothing but Hilsa fish. So the news reaches the palace. The people, the courtiers are also talking about Hilsa fish. They are discussing about Hilsa fish. They don't have any other matters to discuss. They are discussing about our Hilsa fish. Your Majesty, you should have seen the huge Hilsa I caught. It was. The courtier is describing how he caught that Hilsa fish to our Majesty, to our king. Isn't it? Your Majesty, you should have seen the huge Hilsa. So the Hilsa was very huge. I caught it. Like that, this man is telling to our Majesty, our king. Stop it. Are you a courtier or a fisherman? So now our king got angry and he shouted in anger, stop it. Are you a courtier or a fisherman? Are you a courtier or are you a fisherman for telling this kind of stories? The courtier fell silent with downcast eyes. So the courtier felt sorry for telling like that, and he fell silent with downcast eyes. Downcast eyes means, yes, looking down. That is downcast eyes. The king felt guilty. The king also felt sorry for shouting like that to the courtier. The courtier is telling, I am sorry, I lose my temper. It is a season for Hilsa fish, and no one, even Gopal, can stop anyone from talking about Hilsa fish, not even for 5 minutes. So this courtier is now challenging Gopal. Even Gopal can't make anyone stop talking about this Hilsa fish. So now Gopal is telling, oh, I think I could, Your Majesty. So Gopal is telling, I could, I can do it. I can make them stop talking about Hilsa fish. So the king now said, then let me see you buy a huge Hilsa and bring it to the palace without anyone asking you a word about it. Now the king ordered that buy a huge Hilsa and bring it to the palace. Also one condition is there, no one should talk about the Hilsa fish to you. No one should ask even a single word about this Hilsa fish. Gopal, I accept the challenge, Your Majesty. So Gopal now accepted the challenge. So we can see what happens after a few days. So that after a few days, why is your face half shaven? I'm dressing up to buy a fish. You can see Gopal and his wife is shown in the pictures there, and the face of Gopal is half shaven. You can see there And this wife is asking to Gopal, why your face half shaven? Why is your face half shaven? Can't you shave it fully? This wife is asking to Gopal. I am dressing up to buy a fish. So now this Gopal is telling, I am now dressing up to buy a fish. I am going out to buy a fish like this. What's the matter with you? Why are you smearing yourself with ash? So now our Gopal is smearing ash in his face. He's rubbing ash in his face. So this wife is asking, what happened to you? Why are you doing like this? Gopal is telling, I told you I am dressing up to buy a Hilsa fish. I told you once I am getting ready to go out for buying a fish. Listen to me, please. You can't possibly go out in those disgraceful rags. What are you up to? Again this Gopal's wife is telling, listen to me. Hey, see, just listen to me. Please, you can't possibly go out in this disgraceful rags. You can't go outside like this. You can't go outside by wearing like this bad and untidy rags. Rags means torn clothes. So here our Gopal's wife is telling that don't go outside by putting this bad torn clothes. What are you up to? Why are you doing like this? What are you up to? How many times must I tell you, woman? I am out to buy a huge Hilsa fish. How many times I told you, my woman? I am dressing up to go out to buy a huge Hilsa fish. So now Gopal's wife is wondered and he went out. Who went out? Gopal went out, and this wife is thinking, it's happened to him. Something happened to him. He's gone mad. He may be gone mad. That's why he is doing like that. Is he mad? No, he is not mad. He is very clever. We can see whether he will buy the fish or not. Okay. Our Gopal is now going to the market. We can see what happens next. Gopal bought the Hilsa fish and started walking towards a palace. So he bought a huge Hilsa fish and now he is going to the palace. Mother, look at that man. Isn't he comical? So the people are laughing by looking his face. And one little boy is telling, Mother, look at that man. Isn't he comical? He looks very comical. Isn't it? We will also laugh a person if we see him as half shaven. Isn't it? So here also this little boy is telling to his mother that, look mother, there is a man going to the palace. He looks very comical. He must be a madman. So another man is telling by standing in the crowd that he must be a madman. Hush, I think he is a mystic. Another man is telling, shh, keep quiet. He is not a mad. I think he is mystic. Mystic means spiritual. I think he is very spiritual. So when Gopal reached the court, so what happens next? Gopal reaches the court. What do you want? So the person standing in front of the gate of the palace is asking to the Gopal, what do you want? I want to see the king. Gopal replied, I want to see the king. You can't see the king. So the another man is telling, you can't see the king, get away with you. No, you are not allowed to get inside the palace. You can't see the king. You are not allowed to see the king. Go out. Get away with you. What did Gopal do? Gopal began to dance and sing loudly. So our Gopal is now dancing and singing loudly in front of the palace. So now what will happen? Something funny is going to happen, isn't it? Okay, so listen. Gopal came to the market for buying Hilsa fish. Before that, everyone was talking about the Hilsa fish. Whenever this Gopal went out to buy Hilsa fish with this disgraceful rags and with half-shaven face, everyone began to notice whom? Yes, everyone began to notice Gopal instead of discussing about Hilsa fish. This was actually Gopal wanted. We can see what happens next. Okay, so we will meet in the next class. Don't forget to read the textbook, read the new words, read the textbook carefully. We'll meet you in the next class. Thank you.